What's up, everybody? It is Jordan here from Wednesday Night Warhammer. This video is a little bit of a pivot from what we are normally doing here on the channel. Normally, we're very heavy in competitive tactics and in-depth analysis and etc. But we're kind of waiting for the balanced data slate. We'll do a bunch of content on that, of course. But for this week's video, I'm just talking about the 5 most fun Tyranid units that I think the Codex has to offer. Each of these units are incredible in their own way, not necessarily just for a competitive standpoint, but honestly, just because they're cool and they're fun to have on the table. So, if you're interested to hear my opinion on my favorite fun units to put on the tabletop in Warhammer 40k, stick around and let's find out what they are. Unit number 5 is the Hungry Harspex. How could you not like this fella? He's got big claws. He's got big tongue. He's got big mouth stuff. I don't know. He's really cool, And when the index came out for Tyranids in 10th edition, when everything was coming out, I saw his data sheet. We saw how few points he was, only 125 points. He's just good, He's a big old beefy machine that's going to waltz up the table. He's going to attack people with his weird mouth, and then he's going to punch them in the face with his claws. What else do you want from this guy? That's what he's giving you. So, in addition, after he punches something in the face with his claws and defeats it, he's going to make enemy units around that thing get battle shocked and get scared by all of his big old crazy mouth stuff. So look out for that. He's phenomenal. I love this Harspex, and I love including him in a list when I can. He supports most detachments. He can go in Assimilation Swarm. He's going to heal himself. He's going to heal his buddies. He's going to eat stuff and then make himself feel better. That's it. He does really cool stuff. In Crusher Stampede, you can hit with all 12 of his small attacks on 2s if he's wounded at all. That's phenomenal. And his meaty claws on 2s as well. Invasion Fleet, all of those attacks are going to get sustained or they're going to get lethals. I love it. Sign me up. Hungry Harspex, more like Hungry Jordan for more Harspex. My favorite part about this unit is I've probably killed Trajan and Valoris 3 times by precisioning him out with a Harspex tongue. If you haven't done that yet, you haven't played the Harspex yet, so get on that, please. Before we dive into some more really cool bugs, I want to talk about some really cool guys over at Secondhand Geek. This video is brought to you partially in part by Secondhand Geek, and they're starting some pre-orders. So if you don't want to sift through the miserable queue on Saturday, refreshing your page on the GW website, trying to get yourself some really, really cool, shiny Chaos Knights, go ahead and click the links down below and you can pre-order your Chaos Knights, whatever you want from them right now. This pre-order is honestly amazing. It has probably one of the best battle forces I've ever seen for any army. It's very simple. You get 7 War Dogs. Boom. You're halfway to a competitive Chaos Knight army with just 1 box. So maybe get 2. But make sure you sign up using our affiliate link down below for Secondhand Geek, and then go check out the pre-orders that should be listed directly below that affiliate link. It's going to help us out a little bit, show some support for Wednesday Night Warhammer, and of course, show some support for your brand new Chaos Knight army. Number 4 is Death Leaper. This is going to be a weird statement, I'm going to say it. But just trust me, I like my units to do things. And the Death Leaper does a lot of things. He's lone op, he infiltrates, he's stealth, he's got phenomenal swag with his flesh skirt. Do you think the Death Leaper is Scottish and it's actually like a kilt? I think so. I like that. Anyways, he's got so many abilities, he does so many different things. And he helps with our army rule, Shadow in the Warp. He's going to give an additional -1 within 6 inches if you time it right. You slingshot your Death Leaper up the board, have it next to some very important enemy units. You pop Shadows in the Warp. You have a Neurotyrant on the field, of course. And that means they're going to be -2 to their Battle Shock check, which is actually pretty incredible. And if they're below starting strength, they have to take another one. Get double Battle Shocked. All thanks to the Death Leaper. He's fantastic. I love him. I will say, he is an incredibly hard model to assemble. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me on this, but I had such a hard time assembling my first one. I actually had to buy a second Death Leaper, and I'm not proud to admit that, but that did happen. Anyways, back to how much cool he is. I really like units. I like models that make your opponent interact with them. Death Leaper is one of them. He's 80 points. He's pretty cheap, but he's like weirdly durable with the 4-up invulnerable save, -1 to hit, and lone op that your opponent has to come out and go get him. So they're forced to do things, or else this Death Leaper is just going to hold primary, do a bunch of secondaries, and just cause havoc throughout your opponent's lines with battle shocks. It last but certainly not least, with all the battle shock stuff that we have with Narrow Lictors, Screamer Killers, Shadow in the Warp, there's a lot of potential to set up really cool wombo combos with this Death Leaper in order to ensure that your opponent is spooky scared of all your spooky scary bugs. Unit number 3 is Old One Eye. Tyranids only have 3 epic heroes: Old One Eye, Swarm Lord, and Death Leaper, and I'm so happy that one of them is Old One Eye. He's so Tyranid to me. He's this big hulking monster, regenerates, never dies, just has the ability to hang out with a couple of Carnifex dudes. He's just so good, like flavor-wise, and he's actually a competitive model on the table as well. He does something that I feel like Tyranids really need. Him and his Carnifex buddies, they activate in shooting and they activate in combat as well. I think Tyranid's biggest problem is each one of their units only does one thing, you know? Like, it's either this unit is going to be shooting you or this unit is going to be charging you. Old One Eye and his 2 Carnifex friends will be shooting you, will be charging you, and will be having a great day, and you won't be if you're on the other side of this. He's an incredible distraction Carnifex, and I'm so happy that a Carnifex is fitting the role of a perfect distraction Carnifex. Whether or not you're having him by himself or you're having him attached to 2 Carnifexes, he can just push up the board. Your opponent is going to shoot at them. They're going to blood surge closer to your opponent, and then they're going to have a bad day if Old One Eye gets to be in combat. It's phenomenal. Love it. In addition, with the new Screamer Killer box, or the new Screamer Killer unit in the edition, a lot of people have actually kit bashed Old One Eye to use the base model of the Screamer Killer to make this really cool, epic, like larger Old One Eye. And I love that. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I need to get another Screamer Killer, but I think it's a really cool place to design and kind of make different changes to your own Old One Eye to make him even cooler. My Old One Eye, specifically, I have used the Harspex Claws, which we talked about the Harspex earlier, as Old One Eye's big crushing claws, just because I felt like it looks like it gives him a little bit more punch, and I think it's kind of cool. It's a little comical how big they are on him, but I don't care. It's awesome. Last but certainly not least, you can really put Old One Eye in any detachment, and he just kind of does his job. He's 140 points of an annoying character that is going to go up the field and eat a couple of units. He has to be dealt with, or he's just going to do nasty things to your opponent. If you're playing him in an invasion fleet, then I strongly encourage you to attach him with 2 of the DAC effects with 4 Death Spitters on each of those Carnifexes, and it's actually quite a bit of firepower that comes out from that unit. Old One Eye, you gotta love him. Unit number 2, the second most fun unit that Tyranids have, are Ravveners. I love Ravveners, and yes, I've included the picture of the new Ravvener sculpt. My patience is very close to be boiled up, to be done. Games Workshop, please release these Ravveners. I want to play with them. I want to spend too much money on maybe 2 or 3 boxes of these and then just discard the AdMech remnants of the kill team. Move on with my life. Please let me give you my money so I can have these new Ravveners. Speaking of the unit that we know of right now, Uppy Downy. Uppy Downy is one of the best rules in Warhammer 40k and is definitely a favorite of mine, which also kind of makes sense why the Ravveners are a favorite of my units. They can Uppy Downy, they can reposition themselves throughout the battle, make sure that they're going to be able to activate in places where they can activate and what is best for your army. Of course, if you play them like me, you just forget to do it every single time. So that's fun as well. In addition, they're super fast, 10 inches. They actually hit really hard. So when they connect, and they will connect because you can Uppy Downy them, and then move 10 inches, they hit like a truck. absolutely do. So many attacks. And who doesn't like rolling a bucket of dice? I certainly like rolling a bucket of dice. One of my favorite things about playing Warhammer 40K is rolling so many dice. So you want to roll so many dice and potentially have a new model come out for a unit, check out the Ravveners. I say potentially because it's been so long, I'm not convinced that Games Workshop just hasn't forgot about that kill team set. Who knows? Ravveners. I love them. You should too. Sorry, we'll talk about the number one unit in a second. Just the number one YouTube channel is Wednesday Night Warhammer. Subscribe to us. We're going to have some really good Warhammer 40K content coming up every single week. Throughout the summer, I'm going to be pushing out even more content, maybe 2 to 3 videos a week, just to put my ideas about Warhammer out there, specifically Tyranids probably. So if you're enjoying this video, I guarantee you will enjoy our channel. We're going to have weekly battle reports. This week, it might be a little bit different. We're going to have a little bit of a schedule conflict on Wednesday. I will be pushing some type of content out on Wednesday, but just stay tuned to see what that is. Army list review shows. I'm going to have one today around 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to submit your Tyranid list, I will take a look at it, go through the post section of our YouTube channel. I'll get around to it. Members, of course, get a little bit of priority. So if you want to support the channel, while also supporting yourself by hearing my thoughts about your Tyranid army list, consider becoming a member and then posting your list. Could be a good idea. In addition, we're really pushing for 10,000 subscribers. We're quite a ways out from that. I think just under 3,000 at this point. But once we reach that 10,000 mark, we would love to have a 10-hour stream, kind of just giving back to you guys a little bit. We'll be doing a bunch of Tyranid content and maybe a bunch of battles within that 10 hours. So if that's something that you want to see and you want to support the channel even more, consider subscribing and sharing and everything. Thanks. Now here is the most fun Tyranid unit in our codex. The most fun unit to play in the Tyranid Codex, in my opinion, is the Norns. The Norn Assimilator and the Norn Emissary. I think this might come as a surprise for a lot of you. In my army list review shows, I often cut Norn Emissaries because there's still a lot of points. However, if we're talking about the most fun models to put on the field, I think the Norns have to be in this list, and I think they are at the top. And it's because they change the flow of the game. They change how the game is played. You want to be on objectives during Warhammer 40K, and with a Norn on the field, you want to be on the objective even more. You want to make sure that this big old tank is also going to have a 5-up Feel No Pain throughout the entire game. In addition, that Norn, when he's sitting on that point, it is his point. It's not going to change. 15 OC, that's very, very tough to shift. So it forces your opponent to commit a lot into this big, beautiful bug that is sitting on this objective, has a very good Feel No Pain, and is going to help you hold primary for the entire game. In addition, aside from how well it plays on the game, it's a beautiful model. I think it is probably the best model to come out from the Tyranids range update. It fits Tyranids aesthetic perfectly well. It has brain stuff. It's got big old claws. It sits on a very strange tactical rock. I'll be honest, I think I could have probably done with a little bit less crazy of a tactical rock. But anyways, it's just a great model. I'm very happy that it is a part of our codex and a part of our range. In addition, there's many ways to build around them. Almost every single detachment is going to be able to support and is going to be happy with the Norn Emissary or the Norn Assimilator's datasheet, regardless of the detachment you're playing. You can use it as an anchor piece. You can use it as a big old build around. You can use it as just its own kind of agent pushing up the field. I think Crusher Stampede, they function very well in that last regard. You can just push them up the field. Hopefully they'll get +1 to hit. Even if they get bracketed, they're going to still activate into anything that's on the battlefield, hitting on 2s. Last but absolutely certainly not least, I really think that Tyranids needed a big, beautiful centerpiece model coming into 10th edition, and I really think the Norn Emissaries are doing that perfectly. We don't have like a Primarch, we don't have like any ginormous Demon Prince or whatever, but we've got Norn Emissaries, and I think a lot of people are and should be jealous of these beautiful bugs. That's it for today's video. Let me know if you like this little bit of a change of pace, a little bit more just opinion and just kind of talking about fun stuff with our Tyranid models. As always, comment, like, subscribe. If you have nothing to comment at all, can you use the comment the word cobalt glass? And no, I'm definitely not looking around my room and my hobby space for things to say when I say this. Anyways, regardless, I'll see you soon for our Army List review show, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day. See ya. Bye.